Daniel Bruneau.
Nice to see you.
I like Daniel a little bit, so we got a little bromance up here. Daniel, you have a lot of experience, a lot of talent. Tell everyone a little bit about your background, your PhD, wow them a little bit like I'm wowed, and then we'll get into the mission stuff of what you're really passionate about.
Okay, we'll do the little bits first, right? Brilliant to be here, everybody. My background is actually in the field of human-computer interaction. Does anybody know that field? HCI by any chance? It's closely related to a field called UX. Yeah, I saw one hand. See, when I normally say that, people don't know what it is about. And I basically started off, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a brain surgeon. I wanted to also do woodworking. I also wanted to go out and actually design and create things. I wanted to do so many things. And so when I started studying, when I was later in college, I realized I could bring some of those together. So my actual PhD, as Jared mentioned, is actually in the field of neuroscience is my background, but it's in the field of human-computer interaction broadly. So it's basically how do we understand how people operate neurologically? How does their brain work? How do we design things and systems that actually can support how the brain works? So in the field of UX, it's the same kind of thing. How do you design interfaces? How do you design technology that matches how the human brain works? And that's my background in terms of where I come from. And I guess you want to know where, like, all the other places, what else?
Some of the cool things you've done in the last few years.
Okay, so yes, it's good. So I'm always not always going to be the best person championing what I've done, but yeah, so I've applied that in many scenarios. I've been in academia, where I've taught design thinking is one of the things I've taught in the past. But I've also been involved in different aspects working for AT&T. I've worked for Yahoo. I've built and created organizations in different places. Delta Airlines is the most recent place I came to. If you've ever Googled the innovation center at Delta called the Hangar, that's one of the things that I helped co-create over there. And been involved with AT&T, again, creating these UX kind of innovation organizations and that are all about how do you create systems and processes that match how people behave. And so it's been a long kind of different aspects, different careers in different ways.
And so if you ever fly Delta Airlines, which I do because I'm out of Atlanta, I love the app and everything about it. You can thank this guy for that and his team that they put that together. But so Daniel and I have known each other for a few years, and he recognized a need we have within the Adventist Review team. So just in the last couple of years, I've started helping the Adventist Review, working on some innovative things. We've got a lot of cool things going. Daniel was willing to assist in some of those areas, and so he's helping us transform the original startup in the Adventist movement, the thing that came before the church. So Daniel, can you talk a little bit about what you're trying to spearhead to increase engagement and relevance within the Adventist Review world?
Absolutely, and I think this is the part that I really get passionate about, and this is where Jared and I are partnering. And I'm going to talk a couple of things. One of the things I'm going to talk about is the kind of people we work with as well. That's point number 2. But the first thing that we're really applying here, we're really working through, is how do we actually truly understand the users, right? The end users. And if you put it in that perspective, it almost becomes a little bit kind of, well, is this very clinical, right? Is it an end user who engages a product or something? But we're talking about an audience that's beyond that, that's wider than that. And it's really about how do we bring together the different elements of the Adventist Review Ministries, right? We have print magazine aspects, right? There's content that comes through that, but we also have the development of ARTV. We've got video content that, by the way, the proliferation of video content is only going to increase in the next 5 years. It's already surpassing internet views in many respects in terms of what's being looked at and viewed on the internet. Video content is critical. How do we start bringing these things together? How do we create an engaging experience for an audience that is beyond the Adventist church as well, that needs to engage with us in some way? And what's exciting about this is that throughout the different mediums that we have, how do we become nimble? How do we actually react quickly to the market? Not so much in turning and changing the content type in terms of truth, but in terms of the medium, in terms of the way that we can actually get and actually have people engage with us more quickly. So our role, right, and this is where I'm going to get to the people piece in just a little bit, and the importance of really getting the right team together. When you think about, even as you're beginning your business enterprises, as you think about the entrepreneurial roads that you're on, getting the right people together is absolutely critical. And I think And it can begin in a very small way. The way we started the innovation lab over at Delta Airlines, it began with 4 people in a room. Myself, the co-creator over in technology. We had 2 other people, and we just had a big whiteboard, and we put it together. And we're doing something very similar here at Adventist Review Ministries, where we've got some like-minded people who actually, by the way, this is the exciting part. And I'm going to speak just kind of, if I may, just kind of a mini testimony. I have left corporate America in every respect, and there's nothing wrong with being in corporate America, but there's been a drive that I've had where I've grown in my career, and we've built teams, and we've built organizations, and you move forward in very specific ways. And it's always about the next step, and some things happen in my life. Whenever you create a business, whenever you're an entrepreneur, it never happens in the silo. It always happens with other things that occur. And so there's some things that happen in my life in terms of a health crisis, example, related to stress. I'm just going to be open and honest. In terms of that drive, and some of those things drive you back to something very simple, a dependency upon God and not a dependency upon yourself to solve the problems. Because at every other time, I had been solving the problems, right? That's what innovation is about. We talk about these conversations. It's about multiple opportunities, multiple problems. How do you solve them? And when you go through different crises, you realize your dependency and utter dependency on God. And that has shifted my thinking, my desire to be about God's work in every respect, what that means. And if I can somehow lend my skills in some way to further the work, to create a content stream that will arrest people's hearts, then that is why I'm here. This is why I'm working with Jared, and we're working with the rest of the team to bring that together.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions in this field? I mean, I can tell you, if you want to know anything about user experience and things, Daniel is a guru. But if anybody's got a question, yeah, right there.
There's more than one study, in fact. Oh, human-computer interaction. Or if you want the abbreviation, it's HCI.
That's H for us Southern folks.
H.
No, that's good. Hey, thank you. And if you have a moment, make sure you grab Daniel's ear. He can inspire you very quickly. Thank you, Daniel.
Cheers.